Why am I not happy? The answer might be simpler than you think. Let me tell you one truth that changed my life forever, because I think it can change yours too. Hello, my love. Welcome to my channel. My name is Daniela Londano, and I used to ask myself this question a lot a few years ago. When I was doing all the things that were supposed to make me happy, especially in my work life, you know, getting that job that is respectable, where you get paid well, where you work with fancy clients, but all I was really feeling underneath the hustle and the stress was a great pit in my stomach saying, all of this, it has no meaning to me. Get me out of here! If you're feeling the same way right now, let me know in the comments with a heart emoji. If this is you and you're feeling kind of hopeless and confused, know first that you're not alone, and second, that you're not condemned to be stuck there, feeling unhappy at your job forever. I know this for a fact because I found a way out, a way to create my own unique path towards fulfillment, which is the deepest form of happiness, and I help others do the same for a living. So I know this can be true for you too. Today, I want to share a truth that can sting a little, but it totally changed the game for me. And it's been true for every single person I've worked with. So it might apply to you too. The truth is, if you're asking yourself, why am I not happy when you seem to be doing all the right things in your work life, it's probably because those right things don't reflect what your soul really wants. It might reflect somebody else's dream, or what society says that you need to be doing to be happy or successful, but the path you're following to get those desired states is clearly not a match for you, or else you wouldn't be feeling this way. I know, I don't say this to slap you in the face. I say it to invite you to be curious. I've learned that feeling unhappy in your work life is just an alert signal, like pain when you touch a hot stove. It's hurtful because it's trying to serve you. It's trying to get you to pay attention to yourself, to see the truth of who you are, what you're about, and what you're here to create, so you can course correct and stop chasing things that don't make your soul come alive. In my perspective, unhappiness is not something to be ashamed of, and it's definitely not something to be suppressed or ignored, because it only grows stronger if you do that. I've come to understand that when it arises at work, it's just your soul's way of tapping you on the shoulder, asking you to inspect your work life with curiosity and observe the entire scenario from a bird's eye perspective. You know, the nature of that job, the parts of yourself that you get to exercise in that role, the amount of agency and creative freedom that you have, if you have any, the environment that you're working in, the relationship dynamics, how much you're actually growing and learning, the impact you're having on others, etc. It's inviting you to sift through all of that so you can start to pinpoint where in that whole landscape lie the exact sources of unhappiness. You need to diagnose correctly to treat something. And only when you take the time to reflect on what is rubbing you the wrong way and communicate it to yourself with precision, hopefully using written words, can you actually start to do something about it. Let me show you how this worked for me. When I was feeling unhappy at work, this was my first successful step into planning an exit. I took a good look at everything, and I do mean everything in my work life, and I started to write down all of the things that bothered me. In that job, and in previous jobs too. I did a full rant, something that I like to call the clarity bipolarity game, which you can learn all about in this video right here. And I wrote up at least 50 things that I didn't like. Yep, it was a deep introspection into my unhappiness. And as with anything you observe intently, I started to notice the precise sources of grayness in my job landscape. They've been there all along. I just hadn't paid close attention to them before. As I was ranting about my boss at the time, and about previous bosses too, I I started to understand a deeper truth about myself. It wasn't that I didn't like this boss or that boss. I didn't like the structure of having a boss. Being in a subordinate position just didn't do it for me. I felt like I was going against my nature, and it was a main source of unhappiness. This observation about myself gave me a new sense of clarity. To be happier at work, I didn't need a new job with a better boss. I needed to be my own boss. And if I was going to change my work life, this part of my being, of my nature, needed to be included in the decision-making process. Or else I just make myself miserable all over again. When I took the leap into entrepreneurship, this insight proved to be totally right. The sense of freedom and of agency over myself was a major source of satisfaction. Nowadays, I wouldn't change being my own boss for the world. Knowing this insight about myself was just the beginning. I do this process, this clarity by polarity game, every 4 to 6 months. This whole introspection process just helps me check in with myself and fine-tune my work landscape so that it can fit my soul a little better each time. To the point where I find myself today, which is working on a subject and in a manner that is genuinely fulfilling to me. And it all started with being unhappy and choosing to observe it intently, as you can do today too. I'll leave you a free sheet of the Clarity by Polarity game with my first example of those first 50 rants I wrote so that you can have a template to work on. Because this feeling, I can guarantee you, is not here to punish you. It's designed to serve you, to poke you into moving into the right direction for your soul, which is the only way of feeling fulfilled. If you found this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs down and let me know why. If you'd like to receive more nuggets of clarity on the subject of finding fulfillment in your work life, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell so that YouTube can notify you when I upload new videos every Thursday. I'll see you next time on this channel. Much, much love to you.